Call the regular city council meeting Monday, July 24th, 2017 to order. Clerk call roll, please. Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard. Mayor Hall. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, presentation from the Recreation Board. Ray?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, City Council. With me is Pete Edscheid. He's with a new group. It's a disc golf group, and he brought quite a few volunteers with him. Looks like about maybe 15 avid players. Before Pete speaks, I just want to say that Pete Edscheid and his group, they have attended the last two Park and Recreation Board meetings to introduce and promote a new sport and recreational game to Peru named disc golf. It is a healthy game played outside to encourage exercise, friendly competition, and be played by anyone of all age groups. Since Baker Lake has plenty of open green space, the Parks and Recreation Board gave this group its full support to pursue their goal of attracting many players to Peru. We realize this would be a structural change to a park, so this would need to be passed by the City Council for approval. Okay, Pete.
Mayor, Councilman, my name is Pete Edscheid. I've been homeowner here in Peru since 1984. I don't know how familiar you guys are with disc golf, but it's a very simple game. I have a picture of a basket here, and it's basically played. We throw discs at this basket. I have several varieties. They have putters, drivers, mid-range putters. Different discs do different things. It's a simple game. I've seen 5-year-old kids playing this. I've seen moms and dads dragging 2 kids along. I've seen a couple with dragging 5 kids along with them. Anybody can play it, boys, girls, any age. There's 90-year-old people still playing the game. But one of the big draws of the game, it's a very complex game at the same time. It's like ball golf. When you take the game seriously, you find out different discs do different things, and like I say, we get very competitive. Like I say, if you're old enough to pick up a disc, you're old enough to play. And I've seen just about every kind of person. I play with lawyers, whatever out there. Like Ray was saying, benefits of the thing: fresh air, exercise. The game is cheap. Pretty much 99% of all disc golf courses in the country are free courses. They're on public property. Disc, if you want to buy discs, you're talking $6 to $20 for a disc. I've seen guys out throwing with 1 disc, 3 discs. The avid players I play with here, you'll see 15 to 20 discs in their bags. It's low maintenance. It's not like a golf course where you got to put fertilizer and stuff like that down. It's like I say, we like trees. The more trees and stuff, the better. It's a quiet sport. It's played just like golf. You don't have like 20 guys on a hole or whatever like that. It's always like 4 guys or whatever like that. And it's just like you go out to ball golf, you're not going to hear these guys yelling and screaming or whatever like that. The only time I've heard anybody scream at a golf course is if somebody gets a hole in the one, then it's just like a big yip. Another nice thing about disc golf, you can play alone. Like if you got kids that you want to play tennis, baseball, or whatever, you got to get a group of people. If you want to play this, you can go out by yourself. It's a safe sport. I've never heard about anybody getting hurt playing this game, and it's quick too. You can play it in like an hour and a half. So if you go out and play a game, you're probably going to play 2 rounds because it's and it's challenging. I'll tell you about the popularity of this game. The only 18-hole course full time in this area is in Streeter. However, if you go up to the Quad Cities, they have at least 8 very high quality courses. Peoria about the same. Joliet, I know of at least 5 up there. There's over 5,000 of these courses in the U.S. And to show how fast it's growing now, there's a group called the Professional Disc Golf Association. They were formed back in 1977. The first member was a guy named Ed Hedrick, and he was member number 1. So next guy joins, he's 2. I joined in 2014. My member was number 62,076. So in those 37 years, 62,000 people joined. In the 3 years since I joined, there's been another 35,000 people join the PGA. Now, these people who join PGA, they're not, most disc golfers don't join. The reason to join the PGA is you're going to get in tournaments, you get a $10 break for your entry fee. And so you can just imagine how many regular disc golfers there are. Right now there's over 120 colleges in the U.S. who have disc golf teams, and there is a disc golf collegiate championship every year. There's at least 18 disc golf companies who are not sports companies, they're strictly disc golf, make discs and bags, whatever. So it's big business. This week alone, there were over 50 tournaments, pro-am tournaments in the U.S. And each of these tournaments draws between 100, 200 people, sometimes more. The tournament just finished over in the Quad Cities. It was a 5-6-day tournament. There was almost 700 players at that tournament. So now they're getting their disc golf cheap because they're not paying a lot of whatever, you know. So they have money to spend. So these guys are going over there. They're spending how much for a hotel for all these days, you know. Why would we want to put one at Baker Lake? Well, we have 2 teachers from the area here. Tim Nagel from Parkside. We have Matt Rebold from LP. They teach disc golf at their PE classes. So now we have all these kids in the area here who are learning a game that they can't play because, you know, you figure kids 10 to 18 years old, they can't drive over to, you know, IVCC. And like I said, the only permanent 18-hole course in this area is out in Streeter. The perfect thing about Baker Lake, it's in the middle of town. So all these kids who might enjoy the game, they can bike, they can hike there, you know, and what do you call it? We're hoping that if this thing gets passed, that, you know, like there might be a practice basket out by the what do you call it? Shelter out there, which if you got people coming out to picnic or whatever, they're going to go out and throw, you know, they go out and maybe have beanbag things or horseshoes or whatever. Take a couple of discs out there and they got a practice basket. They can just sit there and toss it. You don't have to, you know, it's just goofing around. My 5-year-old grandson, I get him over my house. He's out tossing discs in my basket out in the front yard there. Beautiful thing about Baker Lake, it's a multi-use facility. You got, you know, you got people picnicking out there. You got people fishing. You got hikers, bikers. So you add another activity in there. You know, you can have, say your son don't want to go picnicking with you, but if he finds out there's a disc golf course out there, yeah, maybe he'll slide along and, you know, do some disc golf while you're doing your other stuff out there. As far as maintenance, there is none. You already mow all the grass out there, so it's, you know, pretty much maintenance free. There are a couple places we like to go through some woods and stuff like that, but even there, the traffic is going to trample down any kind of stuff, so you're really not going to have to do any maintenance in there. I talked to you about the benefits for the city. Like I say, for activity for the youth, and you're going to attract, if you put in a decent 18-hole course, which I think our design here is, there's also a website called Disc Golf Course Review, and they review all courses, and this course would be in there, and I'm sure it'd be rated like 3 or above. So this is going to attract people from the surrounding area. You know, like at our league, most of our players come from Ottawa. And that's because they had a course that they could play when they were younger over there. You know, so now they want to you know, it's kind of a small course over there, so it's, they've graduated, they play with us over at IV all the time. If you attract these people, they're gonna come over here and just play. So they'll come over here, and like I say, it's a short game, an hour and a half, so they might play 2 rounds. So now, after they finish 1 round, maybe they're gonna walk over to Beck's or over to McDonald's or something like that. You know, maybe they wanna grab a sandwich or something like that or whatever. Avid players, like the guys here, people getting tournaments and stuff like that, you can see, well, like that 700 people at a course where you gotta play, you know, pay hotel rooms or whatever. So now, if I'm gonna be traveling, like across country or something like that, I'm gonna get on DG course review, and any place I stop, I wanna make sure there's a disc golf course around, you know? So I can see somebody from, say you're going from New York out to Colorado or whatever like that, you're a disc golf aficionado, you're going to drive by and think, well, hey, just off Route 80, here's this nice little 18-hole course. It's rated 3.25 out of 5. So maybe I want to play that course, you know. So you're going to come along here. You're going to stop, maybe grab supper here, get a hotel, get up, get gas, and, you know, maybe, you know, breakfast, and then so you're going to attract people. These disc golfers, I've run into them, like from St. Louis, they travel quite a bit, you know, a lot of retirees play, you know. So, okay, putting in a course is also cheap. You can see the bid there. So under $10,000, you get you're going to get 18 holes and volunteer labor to put into baskets and stuff like that. One of the guys where we were just playing tonight is our league night. We have a group of people that play at IVCC. We've had as many as 24 people there, and as few as like 6 or 8. You know, tonight we had 11. But while we were out there, there was a couple out there. Looked like they're about 50 years old, and Wes Black, the teacher out at college, was talking to him, and he says, and it turns out this guy lives in Peru. He works over at Walmart Distribution, and he mentioned to Wes. Now I don't know how serious the guy is, but he talked about maybe donating some money towards the course, because him and his wife, they love playing. You know, you can tell they're not competitive. They pick up a disc, throw it, but they love getting out there and walking. A disc golf course at Baker Lake would be flexible. I mean, like I say, it's a free course, and you can close it any time. You know, like if you have I know they had like the suicide prevention walk out there one time, and all you got to do is to close the course. You put a sign on because there will be signs out there. You put a sign on the thing, course closed for the day. You put garbage bags over the baskets. The course is closed. People can't play it. If for some reason you decide that you want to use a piece of property for something else, it's nothing to take one of those baskets. You got a sleeve. You pull the sleeve out. It costs you $30 to buy another sleeve. You put it somewhere else. So okay, and that design, okay. All holes on that design are designed to throw away from any other park users and private property. There are some tee pads that would be right up against or close to a path, but you're thrown in the other direction. There's a sheet of paper there too. It tells you distances from private property. So we're throwing away from private property. We're avoiding any conflicts with other people out there. The soccer field, we're like 170 feet away from the soccer field. So let's see. And like I say, you're utilizing unused parts of that park. So so that's about all I got. You know, what I would like to do, if this does get approved, I'd also like to be able to make improvements to the course. Like I say, right now it would be rated like, you know, maybe a 3.25, something like that. But with an addition of trees. Now in my yard, I produce all kinds of red buds from just sprouting up all over the place. I'd love to be able to plant some red buds out there, and also have hackberries. Hackberries are a real sturdy tree, so they produce prolifically and they grow quickly too. So that's about all I got. Any questions or?
I got one question, sir. On this drawing, the X's, is that where they throw to, or is that where they tee off from?
X is where they throw to, and then there should be a little, I try to make a little square there where they're throwing from.
And then the dotted line is the path of the flight.
Okay, so number 4, you got a drawing in front of you?
Yeah.
How close is that to the residential area?
That would be like 120 feet, and that one, you know, a lot of this is like tentative, and we can, you know, like move that, you know, we kind of wanted that to be a long hole, maybe about 500 feet, and we can actually angle it at a different angle, but that one right there, the city owns it right up, all those little trees there. We're not even going into those trees, so I'm figuring that's about 120 feet out there. I don't know, did I have that written down as far as, like I say, on your second sheet, any holes that might be close to a property or something? Yeah, on hole number 4. You see the second sheet there? This is hole number 4, 100 foot from private property, and that's the basket. That would be the target we're shooting at. So, you get it? That sheet like looks like this.
How do you mark the T's?
Tees?
The T markers, is there?
The tees would be like a piece of concrete. It's in the bid there. It's a 5 by 12 piece of concrete, and we have a T sign there. And, you know, and all that is in the bid, you know. So the only thing that isn't in this bid would be city labor to put in the concrete. The concrete is in the bid.
5 by 12, 5 inches?
5 feet by 12 feet.
Oh, you're gonna have 5 foot by 12 foot?
This is for safety and erosion. You don't want to be, you've got a whole bunch of players out there in the grass, you're going to wear a hole in that ground in no time, you know, and be slick. Yeah.
How far can a real good player go on those?
Well, the world record is like 800 feet or something like that. You ain't going to see anyone around here throw 800 feet. Okay. I can throw it just over 300 feet. So that'd be a football field distance. But you got to play for a while to be able to throw it that far. So like new guys getting out there who might not be so accurate, they're not going to throw it maybe 150.
So your 500 foot that you're throwing on that hole 4, the 500 foot, first of all, you're going to have to throw a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to end up, just like golf, you're going to end up with a...
Hopefully I can get it during, yeah. Hopefully I'll get it there in 3. I'll get it like, you know, maybe 300, then another 200 feet in or something like that, you know. So. Oh, yeah, it's, you know. You're throwing away from all these yards, you know, and then, the basket is the X, yeah, but you're not going to throw it 100 feet past that basket. I mean, you'd have to be a pretty poor player to throw that far past it, and then you're not going to be able to have much kind of strength. Yeah.
I think
Pardon?
I think it's a wonderful idea. I compliment the park board. I was playing a couple weeks ago in Kiwani. There was a park in Kiwani laid out more like a Centennial Park.
Yeah.
I couldn't throw it 3 or 25 feet was about as far as I could throw it, but.
Yeah.
But I think it's great, and the city budgeted to the park department an extra $25,000 for ideas just like this to help fund new recreation opportunities. And from my city council standpoint, I think it'd be a great place to have it. Just one thing: why did you pick this over Centennial Park? Centennial Park has a lot of trees and.
Yeah, I'd love to see a 9-hole course up at Centennial Park, but there's just too many picnic tables, the traffic and stuff up there.
You're right.
You know, and I actually went up there and seriously looked at it, because we could have put 2 holes on the other side of the parking lot from the, you know, down by the creek there. There would have been 2 beautiful holes down in there, and we had to find 7 up there, and it was like, you know, with all the picnic tables and stuff, it's just, if the park is busy, you're...
Yeah, I think it's a great place, and, you know, good luck and work with the rec board.
No, and if anybody would like to go up there with us sometime, we can take a couple of discs and we can show you how we show them and throw them and stuff. And, you know, I want to thank Mike. Mike was the guy who put the idea in my head in the first place. Hey, don't blame me. Yeah. Let me say something real quick. Yeah.
Just about 10 more seconds of your time, talking about funding. This will be funded by the Peru Park and Recreation Commission, the board. We have extra money like Tony or Dave just said. We'd like to get going this fall with it, if we can. It's roughly about $9,000, top to bottom, to get this going. They have a slew of volunteers already signed up for it. anyway, we'd like to get going this fall if we can. We'll take a look at our financial statement this fall, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, a local company said that they would give several $1,000s or a matching donation.
Well, yeah, we'll need it on the agenda in 2 weeks. We can talk about it, well, is everybody fine? I don't see any issues at all. So we'll have it on our agenda. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd just like to see a final layout on the whole selection, because there are a few areas that we'll want to take a look at just as hazard areas at the park with the dam outfall. And then I know you mentioned some things about proposing planting of trees. There's certain things that we have to abide by with the DNR and certain areas that I want to make sure that we're avoiding. So we certainly is a great idea, but I do want you to be aware of those things.
Have the company who's going to, whoever you chose to make it, the park board, have them work with Eric on that.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay.
We met yesterday for an hour and a half. We walked the whole course, took an hour and a half. And I couldn't stress to Pete enough, safety is number one. No throwing discs over the track, near a shelter, near a playground, near a restroom, near a parking lot. Safety is always first. And the farther away from somebody's property line, the better off we all are. Okay? Okay. Installation time.
I'm not sure exactly. When we ordered baskets, they said it was like a 2-week wait for getting the baskets in, and then we did actually all we got to do is take those posts, 18 posts, and bury them. Like I said, that's going to be volunteer labor. So that would be, we get the people over there. We could do that in 2-3 days or whatever, So, right, yeah, we would want to. I guess Jeff King, we should talk to him about. There's a couple places like where we got a couple holes down through the woods.
Yeah,
We would need the.
We're interested to talk about, because that's the dam off, where the dam comes out there, and it's all mud all the time.
Yeah,
We might have to move that around.
yeah, definitely like to talk to you about that, because, but there's a little bit of shrubbery and stuff back in there. We'd like to move out some of that to see exactly where this hole would go, because you can't really see through some of it, Maybe a couple of small mulberry trees that are removed or whatever.
We'll have to go down there and look at it, because some of that over there by that dam off is going to be tough to do.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's all we have. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Thank you. Any public comment on any agenda items? Anybody? Nobody? Okay.
Your
Do we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Put off for Ferrari. We have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'm going to change and go to the city attorneys here. Attorney Brandt, could you come on up for the minutes for the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing and then the ordinance?
Pursuant to a legal notice published in the News Tribune on June 30th, a public hearing was conducted on July 19th, 2017 at 4 p.m. on this building. The petition of Mike Prokop and his wife seeking to have portions of Pike and 4th Street vacated. Present at the hearing was Attorney Douglas Schweiger, counsel for Mr. and Mrs. Prokop, Mr. Eric Fells, city engineer, and Mr. Michael Prokop. There were no objectors. Mr. Carlos testified and confirmed that the map of Nineveh, recorded August 3rd, 1837, depicted an 80-foot right-of-way. Mr. Carlos stated that he had researched the rights of owners along said right-of-way via the courthouse records, and associates records, and records of the owner department station right-of-way permit office and land acquisition department. The determination was that the right-of-way is under the jurisdiction of City of Peru. Mr. Stephen Andrews of IDOT District 3 Land Acquisition Engineer, wrote an email to Mr. Kyle stating that, and I'm quoting, "In the D3 files, I did not find any road right-of-way plans or docs for US 6 from Calhoun to West. I expect that the area was originally planted as 4th Street, by through the 4th became US 6. Mr. Carlos confirmed that the control of the buildings and permits along the right-of-way are under the jurisdiction of the city of Peru, and no one has ever contacted IDOT before concerning the permit to build. Almost all of the buildings along 4th Street encroach the right-of-way from a couple of inches to 18 feet. They then submitted vacation plat prepared by Shannon and Associates. There were no utilities along the right-of-way, but the proposed ordinance would still reserve such a right to the city if the need was there in the future. Mr. Carlos recommended that the right-of-way is to be vacated. Mr. Proka testified that he was the owner of the commercial building at 2017 4th Street. He believes the building has been in place since about the 1950s. He intends to improve the facade and exterior of the building, mostly with a brick facade, and utilize the same for his technical consulting and publishing business. He also intends for President Street side of the building to be a rental suite. He hired architect Mr. Michael Connett to complete the facade, design, and these things. He became aware of the existing encroachment after the design and review committee meeting with the city of Peru. He then contacted Shannon and determined the extent of the encroachment. He was advised that the existing building is encroaching to the right of way. He requested Shannon to prepare the vacation plat. Mr. Pocock anticipated making approximately $120,000 in improvements to the building and parking lot. Mr. Pocock received a favorable recommendation from the design and review committee. Again, there's no objectors.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes placed on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Do I have a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay, do we have a motion to receive the ordinances written and read?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you, Attorney Brandt.
Thank you.
Attorney Swigert. Okay, do you have a resolution?
Yes, there's a couple of resolutions. They might look familiar or sound familiar to everybody on the council. This has to do with elected officials participating in the IMRF program. IMRF changed their policies requiring a resolution of the municipality for those officers that are entitled to participate. We received a call, actually, HR Manager Kim Reese had a conference call initiated by the IMRF from their legal counsel, and apparently many of the municipalities did not fill out the forms the way that the corporate counsel at IMRF had preferred they be filled out. So actually I think it's a positive thing. The way that we approached it at first was how are those members that are currently participating, what are their guidelines? And the IMRF's intent is that the guidelines that is set up are set up that as to the future office holders. So as an example, we have two separate resolutions tonight. One for the position of city clerk and mayor, which indicate a requiring performance of duty being no less than 1,000 hours per year. And for those aldermen serving, it would be 600 hours per year. Officers that are currently in office and participating in IMRF would not be would be grandfathered in at the previous rate, and the city's rate is 1,000 hours. So going forward, an alderman that would be eligible to participate, that would be newly elected, would have to meet the 1,000 hour threshold, and that is not a mark that could be achieved at that position. So there's two separate resolutions, one for the mayor and city clerk stating 1,000 and one for alderman which states 600. Motion them together.
I'll make a motion that we accept both resolutions as written and read.
Have a motion and a second to accept the resolutions as written and read. Is there any discussion?
So I just want to understand, I think the alderman should be 1,000 hours.
Unless you are a seated alderman, participate in IMRF, it's 1,000 hours. Correct. Because that is the city's standard.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius. Aye. Radke. Aye. Sapienza. Payton. Aye. Ballard. Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, now I'll go back to Finance Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Yes, Your Honor, I forgot to highlight a little bit on the city sales tax. If you see in your packets, you've got a report for the comparisons of 2016 to 2017. If you notice, we're through April, and the city's seen a very nice jump of about $65,000 compared to last year for the month of April. So overall, after 4 months of progress, it's about $14,000 less than it was last year. But it was good to see that jump coming up in April. Hopefully it will keep going up. I thought it was kind of unexpected, but it was good news. For disbursements, Alderman Radke?
Yes, total disbursements to be paid on July 26, 2017, $2,706,249.08. I move this be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner.
Have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius. Radke. Aye. Sapienza. Payton. Aye. Ballard. Aye.
Motion approved.
We have a motion tonight to authorize execution of a corporate authorization resolution with Hometown National Bank. Can you update us what that is?
I'm going to table that. That had to do with the hometown placement that Jackson Powell was working on. Last time we did a placement, we had one with a Streeter Own-Ice Credit Union, and we had a delay in being able to place it because they required a corporate resolution. I anticipated we'd have the same hurdle here. I didn't want it to be delayed, so I placed it on the agenda, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Is that correct, Jackson?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Next item is I have a motion to approve fiscal year 2018 facade grant for OSB in the amount of $37,500. That will be the new sushi and burger bar that is going up where the present Amici's currently is. That facade grant from the city of Peru, it looks like they will be putting in double that amount in renovations and improvements on that site, and they qualify for all of the applications. They will be putting in $76,352.50 for the facade improvement. I think it will look really good around Route 6, but I'd like to make it contingent upon Mr. Yankee within 30 days taking care of 2 property notices. He has 2 outstanding property notices that he's received. We wish him to take care of those properties, and if he does that within 30 days, then the grant of $37,500 will be administered. If it doesn't happen within the 30 days, then that grant will be open to other interests in the community. So that is my long motion tonight.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the fiscal year 18 facade grant for $37,500. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius. Radke. Aye. Sapienza. Aye. Payton. Aye. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Tonight, we have a motion to approve a $1,000 donation to the Peru Girls Little League Softball Tournament for the annual Junior Little League State Tournament. That happened a few weeks ago. That donation takes care of some of the tournament expenses. The city has always helped with state things, the central states, and a lot of big tournaments that we bring in a lot of people to, and this was one of them. I think they had great attendance. It worked out real well, and tonight we're making a motion to give them $1,000 to defray some of the tournament expenses that they've had.
I will second that, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second for a $1,000 donation to Peru Girls Little League Softball. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Motion approved.
That's all I have, Your Honor, committee. Anything else? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Yes, sir. Alderman Ballard, please.
Have a motion and a second to authorize rehab of marble plaques to the remaining 3 wings in the mausoleum. Is there any discussion?
Is this just another step?
Yeah, so in the original contract, we authorized them to move forward with the work of the first wing because it was unknown on what it would take to complete that marble work. The cost that you see there is actually less than originally bid, so the project will be coming in under budget, under the budget amount for this work.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a roll call vote, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Motion approved. Anything further from Public Services?
Chief? No? Committee? That's all, sir.
Okey doke. Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Anybody? New business. We have a letter. Dear Marhara, please accept this letter of retirement of all of the following ETSB board members as of Friday, June 30th, 2017, at the close of business. I want to thank all of these members for the time that they served. Joe Hogan, serving since 1989. Richard Velasquez, 1989. Doug Burnaby, 2006. Bob Pishka, 2007. Mark Roberson, 2009. Jeff King, 2010. And Jim Coughlin, 2011. Since some of these people aren't retirement age, I'd ask Chief Burnaby to give a brief explanation of why we have all these retirements from the ETSB board.
Well, with the legislation that passed a couple of years ago in the 911 consolidation statewide, our ETSB was required to dissolve. We then became, as the city of Peru, a member of the LaSalle County Joint Emergency Telephone System Board. So that took place legally on June 30th, and then July 1st, the county-wide JETSB was formed, and you had appointed Mr. Hogan as the city's representative a couple of months ago. So the board had its last meeting, I think, June 28th, and it was very important, I think, to everyone, especially Mr. Hogan and Mr. Velasquez, that someday when people are reading the minutes of the council meeting, that there wasn't resignations, that there was retirements. And I think for Joe and Richard, that's especially important. They've been volunteering for 28 years to the city of Peru, making sure you had 911 service. So that was the request of the board, that you receive it as a retirement rather than a resignation.
Oh, very, very good, and thank you for the board. Once again, 28 years for Joe Hogan and Richard Velasquez. That was a long time serving on a board. So thank them for their involvement. Is there any other new business? Petitions, communications?
Your Honor, I just have one. It's a follow-up from a previous communication. Reads, Dear City Council, as you are aware, we are finalizing our plans for the drive-through dinner on Saturday, September 30th, 2017. We've requested use of the fire department as in years past for our event. Jeff King spoke with Shelley Eccles and gave his okay for the use of the fire department for that Saturday. Since we originally addressed the council seeking permission, we would like our approval on the use of the fire department to host the event in honor of Gary Eccles. We would also like to use approximately 16 tables and 24 chairs. Again, it's scheduled for September 30th from 3 to 7. Thank you, signed by the Eccles family and the Gary J. Eccles Memorial Scholarship.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the communication placed on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion second, and you'll have all this in the calendar at the fire station? Okay. Okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
No further communications, Your Honor.
Okay, public comment. We have any public comment? Deb?
We, Debbie Noonan, are former members of Friends for Peru Pool Committee. In September of 2011, Friends for Peru Pool Committee started talking about constructing a splash pad. I spent many hours each day looking for grants to help us with our project. In August of 2013, I found that Illinois was offering a matching grant, OSLID, that would be used for a splash pad. February 14th, we invited Nora Fesco to a meeting with our committee to discuss possibility of helping us for the grant. In March of 2014, with permission of Mayor Harrell and the City Council, our work began. We traveled to several cities in Illinois to check out their splash pads. We also spent countless hours of having meetings together, necessary information to complete the grant by July 1st, just days before the grant was due. We had to make trips to Ottawa to find the title to Washington Park. At the same time, members of FFP were searching at the library for the title of Washington Park. It was found in Ottawa, and everything for the grant was fulfilled. I would like to read 3 quotes from the grant. 1, the project was started by a very committed and energetic group known as Friends for Peru Pool, FFPP Committee. 2, realizing that it would take some time to reach the goals of raising $2.5 million to construct the entire project, the city and FFP decided to construct the splash pad. 3, the activities and actions of FFP group have brought this project to reality for the city of Peru. The OSLID program can make this important project move forward. The grant is approximately 180 pages. Of the 180 pages, FFPP provided 125 pages of information. In December of 2004, Pat Quinn informed Mayor Harrell the grant was awarded to the city of Peru. In 2015, when Bruce Rauner became our governor, he suspended the grant because Illinois was broke. In 2016, Mayor Harrell was informed the grant was released and that project could move forward. In June of 2016, rumors were floating about that J.A. Happ and his wife wanted to donate $100,000 to the splash pad. This rumor was confirmed when Mayor Harrell announced the donation at an open forum meeting. Excuse me. This is when everything changed. All the designs were changed from a nature theme to a baseball theme. FFTP was responsible for getting $256,800 grant. The committee was also going to donate $100,000 to the project. That adds up to $356,800. This is the reason we are here tonight. FFP has not been given any credit for this project. Mayor Harrell told us that the remaining members of FFP, that they would be involved in every step of the way. This has not happened. We don't want our name in lights, but this isn't the time that credit. Isn't it about time? Isn't it about time that credit be given to the committee that made this project possible? Why do you feel that you had the right to take this grant away from FFP? We want answers. So maybe the next time we can honestly answer people when they ask us why FFPT is no longer involved in this project. Give credit where credit is due. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Anybody else?
I can answer.
What's that?
I said, I can answer.
I don't have an answer for that.
We know you don't.
Okay, thank you for the public comment. And is there any other public comment for a third time?
Why did you take our grant?
We're building a splash pad.
Building a
Deb, there's not going to be, we're building a splash pad. It's been okayed by the IDNR. So that's where we're moving forward to.
Why didn't you let us know when the money came in for the grant?
Everybody knew that.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Oh, okay, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about this. That's not going to happen. Thank you for your public comment. And the answer is, there's a splash pad being built. You can go over to the site and see that it's being built, and it's been okayed through IDNR. Is there any other public comment? Is there any closed session? Motion for adjournment? So moved. Motion is second. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.